Friendship. Now, what is the meaning of friendship? Friendship and love. How do you feel about your friends? How do you deal with toxic friendship? How long have you been friends for? How many best friends do you have? Or you have no friends at all, you'd rather be on your own. Now, let's talk about friendship. Now, friendship is one of those ones where you can have the bestest friends for life who you've known since you were a baby or a child, and you've grown up together and you're still friends, and then you're more than brothers and sisters and you're so close. And they're friends that you've met along the way, met when you're a teenager, met in your adult life. I mean, even if you can make friends in your 40s and 50s. Friendship is a very diverse subject. Everyone can call each other friends, call each other their loved ones, call your friends your family. And some of you can experience toxic friendship. Now, when you have that friend who you thought they were your friends, and thought that you could share your secrets or share your feelings with, and then they end up doing something mean to you, or and you have that toxic friendship where you're 1 minute you're friends and then the next minute you're not friends, and then you have this big argument and then you make up again. So friendship is like a relationship. You have your ups and downs, you have trust issues. You have times when you fight over silly things and then you make up again. It's like sibling love, There are times when you get on, there are times when you don't get on, times when you speak and times when you don't speak. But you're still friends with that person. You have a soft spot for them, especially when you've known that person for quite a while and you know what they're like. Sometimes you just ignore them for a few days or ignore them for a week or a month, and then you're friends again. Now, how do you describe your friendship? What kind of friends that you think that you get along with? Or some people say the opposites attract, or some people say that you are just like your friends or just like your best friends. You share everything together. Now, I know a lot of people have, a small group of friends, big group of friends, or you don't even call them friends. Some of them could be just your associates, like many people like to call, you have your work colleagues, but you don't want to call them your friends, and you don't want to call them your work colleagues, but you call them your associates. There are so many words, and people like to put name things and all this, but let's talk about your friendship. You'll talk about toxic friendship, talk about serious friendship and the love that you have for your friends, and how many friends do you have. Now, friendship can come in all different shapes and sizes, and male and female. You could age, you can be in your 20s and you have your best friend could be in the 40s. Those are just doesn't really matter. All it matters is that you trust your friend, you get on with your friend. Yes, you have your silly arguments, you have disagreements, but that's what relationship and friendship is about. You have your love, you have hate, you dislike each other, but then you make up again. It's all part of life. Now, let's just say you have this friend who you've known for quite a while, and you share your secrets together, you share what you're going through, you share your clothes, you meet up for your coffee, you meet up for dinner, and then they do something really bad, really mean, something that you just thought is out of their character, and you just think this person is turning quite toxic, and then they keep doing it, but then you forgive them. They keep doing it again, you forgive them. How many times can you forgive them? Deep down, you know what that person's like. They're your friend, and then you feel guilty for not being there for them. But then if they keep doing this mean thing over and over again, and you're telling them because you love them that they're just so mean, what they're doing is not right, you're ruining the friendship, you don't know if you can carry on seeing this person doing this mean thing, but then they say, yeah, I'm gonna change it, don't worry about it, I'm sorry, but they keep doing it. Now, what do? Do you end your friendship? Do you decided that you don't want to be friends with them anymore? Remember, you've known them for quite a while, a few years, and you know what they're like. But if they have that mean streak in them, and then you don't want to be associated with them in that way, you don't want to be friends with them because they're being mean, that's not the people that you want to be around with, but deep down, she or he is still your friend, but they've been quite toxic, they've been really mean, and they've been mean to you as well, they've been mean to people around them, and you witness all that, and then you tell them that you can't do this, it's not right, but they keep doing it. What would you do? If you have a friend who is toxic, and you have a friend who treats other people mean, and then you see it and you tell them that you can't do that, but then they keep doing it. Do you want to be friends with them again? You warned them, you advised them. What would you do? Now, if I was in that situation, I haven't been in that situation, but it was just, I was just watching a few stories and listening to a few stories as well. People that have friends who have known for a long time, but just don't like the personality or don't like the person they're turning into. I mean, yes, they could have something that's going on with them, or they could going through some stuff. But as a friend, you ask them and you tell them, and then they said, yeah, they're okay, or they don't, they're fine, but they're just doing mean things. What would you do? Now, for me, I would obviously talk to them, give them, a few heads up that whatever you're doing, it's not right. As your friend, I'm speaking to you, just just to be more nicer, or why you're going through this. You've never been like this before. But if they keep doing it and doing it over and over again, and they're going through all this stuff, and then you just don't want to be surrounded by people like that. Even if you've known them for such a long time, you already gave them what you think, you already try to help them, but they keep going around in circles. And no matter what you say, no matter what you do, they keep saying yes, they will change, they will be a better friend, but they're still being mean. You don't want to be associated with that, because then it breaks you down. It gives you a bad aura around you, and you just don't want that. You don't want a friend like that. You don't want to be surrounded people like that. And if you go out and introduce this person to other people or new people that you meet, and then they see that this person's acting this way, and you're associated with them, people do talk. People do, there are people that judge out there. Let's be honest. There are people who will think, why are you associate with that person? Or why is he or she your friend? Why are you with that person in the first place if you're the nice one, but then your friend is the mean one? As they say, people do say that you are who you associate yourself with. Sometimes I don't like that, but it is what it is. It's true. People do talk, people do judge. That's how we live in this world. So what would you do? Please share your thoughts, because I would love to hear what would you do if you had a friend like that, or you have got a friend like that, and you are the nice one and they're just going through some kind of emotions, or they're just doing mean things, and maybe they don't intentionally be mean, or they just the person that you just don't want to be friends with, or you've seen that person change over the years. It's not the person that you thought that, was your friend, and you just want to understand why they're being mean or why they're being toxic, either to you or to other people. So it's one of those things where you don't want to give up your friendship, but then yet again, you want to give up your friendship because you don't want to be associated, or you don't want to be around that person if they've got a bad aura around them. Now let's tell you this little story. It was years ago, very years ago, where there we went out for dinner with me and a group of friends, and this is when I first started my one of my first businesses. I'm not really a talker and stuff. I don't like to boast about things, but if you're gonna ask me a question, I would answer it. So one of them was just asking me, how am I getting on, what's the progress of your business, etc., etc. So I was just telling them, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm doing, this is my future plans. Obviously as friends, I like to share what I'm going through. I thought that they would be happy for me. They would be, happy for my business, happy for my next venture. But no, this is when I realised that friends don't really say that. Friends don't really do that to you. One of them turned around, completely changed the subject, really changed the subject from talking about my business to talking about animals. It was just like 1 minute I was talking about my business, sharing what I planning to do. It was a happy moment. I love talking about my business. When I start talking about my business or talking about things that I'm passionate about, I get really passionate about it. So one friend asked me about my business, what are my plans, what's the future goals for expanding my business, and then another friend decided to change the subject completely. Actually change the complete subject of the whole thing, and it was just, I was very shocked because, I thought she was my friend. I thought that she would want to hear what I was going through. No, she just changed the subject completely to talk about, for my business, to talk about animals. She took out her phone and she showed a picture of an animal. It was silence. And if you know me, when I'm silenced and I don't say nothing, it means I'm holding my tongue. I did not want to be angry at that moment because we was out in public. We was actually in a restaurant having dinner. I was so shocked that I thought that I was gonna ready to up and leave. But being a mature adult, I continued the night, pretended that, I just got on with it. This is like more than 10 years ago. This is just a story that it just occurred to me that who you think is there for you, as in like your closest friends, are not really there for you. Sometimes there is a bit of bitterness, and that's when I realized that this friend is no longer my friend. From that night on, she was no longer my friend. I decided right there and then, when that incident happened, when she changed the subject and showed me animals on her phone, while I was talking about my business, when one friend asked me about it, she just cut off the whole conversation and showed animals on her phone. I decided that was the end of our friendship. Now, that was, to me, that's quite toxic and that's very mean. So if you've got any stories like that, please share. I would love to hear, if you have friends like that who you thought that were your very close friends and does one thing, and you decided that's it, that's the end of the friendship. Because to me, that was the end of our friendship. That was gone. And then to this day, I have not spoken to this person. I decided that she will not be in my life. And because it just kind of like opens up the kind of worms, to be fair. And it just showed me what type of person that this person is. I'm better off. I'm much more happier. This happened more than 10 years ago, but it kind of show you, little things like that. It just shows you what kind of person that they are. You might just think that they're your friends. You don't see them how they really are until they being very snarky or say little comments. And then you realize that this person has got a dark side to them. I don't want to be friends with someone like that. I want happy people around me. I want to, have positive aura. I want to be happy. If you're going to be like that, or if that person's going to be like that, I'd rather just delete that person and just not have them in my life. We are adults now. You don't need 10 friends in your circle. Sometimes you can just have 2 or 3 and you're happy. I have 2 very best friends in my life, 2 sisters who I love and adore very much, and that's all I need. They've been there since I was in school. I love them very much. We are very honest with each other. I love them so much. And they know that I love them. Even though we don't see or talk to each other every day, we probably see each other every 6 months. Now that we're all adults and have our own family, have our own careers, we're very busy women. 3 of us, very busy women. But at the end of the day, we love each other. We know where we stand. We love them so much. We love each other a lot, and we're always there for each other. And the thing about that is that, we know how we're like because we've known each other since we were 11 years old. We went to school, we grew up together, we've been through so much that I think just having, 2 or 3 close friends like that is all you need. You don't need a big circle of friends. You don't need to know everyone. The more people you know, the more stress they give you, and that's my opinion. That's what I think. But if you have any stories like that, I would love to hear, because remember, people can change. So you think that they might be your friend, and then the next minute they're not your friends, and then the next thing you're having an argument, or sometimes you can have so much nice friends. I mean, there are nice people out there, and some people do have loads of friends who are all friends, that love each other so much, have a big group of friends. So, you're not always gonna have mean people in your circle group. But I would love to hear from you, because I love to talk about friendship. I love to meet people, and talk about how you made become friends. But just remember, if you do have that friend who is mean, and then you realize that they're not going to change, maybe just keep your distance, or try to tell them that as your friend, X, Y, and Z. This is how you're becoming. It's not nice to see it. They might take it as a good thing because they might not realize that they're doing these mean things. I mean, there are some people out there who doesn't realize that they're being mean or being toxic in your friendship. So if you just tell them, open up your feelings. As I say on my previous podcast, express your feelings, share your feelings, because then people will know what you're going through. You know how they're feeling. Because sometimes when you don't talk, no one knows what you're going through. No one knows how you're dealing with certain situations, and it's good to be open and be out there, especially when it comes to relationships and friendships. It's good to share what you're going through. Communication is the key. Talk to each other, because that friend might not even realize that they're being mean, or might not realize that they're being toxic to you in the friendship, or they're doing these things. And some people could just turn a blind eye and not even realize that they're treating other people like that, or treating you like that, or the friendship like that. So it's good to tell them and let them know that this is what it is, and this is what is happening. You don't like it, or you just feel like it's just ruining the friendship. And maybe they know, maybe they don't know, but then it helps them. Sometimes they'll be like, okay, I need help, could you help me? Or sometimes they just do not even realize that they're doing it, or they just think that it's just normal, and then you're just like, okay, I'll give up. So it's a mixed thing out there. Like I said, friendship is like a relationship. Love is there, communication is there. You will bicker, but then you'll make up. So let's share your stories. I would love to hear, because I love talking and hearing about how you become friends. Have you been friends since you were kids, and then or you met them along the way? Because as I say, you meet different people as you are going through life. There are so many different people out there, and one minute you thought that you'll never be friends with this person, and then the next day you're friends, and then you're just going to have coffees together and brunches and lunches and dinners. So I would love to hear what your stories is, but this is just one of those things I love to talk about. But please share your stories, and subscribe to my podcast.